We talked about the lack of what you call the derivation of specificity in idealism. Yeah, the kind of way that idealism likes to just draw a circle around materialism and kind of or extract the hard problem and just put it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Put it everywhere.
Put it everywhere. Yeah. We've talked about the risks of idealism in terms of smuggling in kind of nonsense, whether it's non-explanation. Yeah, we've talked about the fact that, the interiority is still an unknown. Like we still need to work that thing out and maybe do it a bit more rigorously. I guess maybe a question, I like to have a couple of questions here. So how can metaphysical inquiry proceed in a way that remains open-ended, rigorously explores foundational questions, and integrates insights from both subjective experience and objective science?
How? Wow, that's a killer question. How? Psychedelics don't hurt in that respect. I think the best way is for people who have opposite perspectives to engage in a meaningful and charitable dialogue. And to tell you the truth, I think there's a tendency to narrow down our picture of the world to what makes the most sense to us. And dialogue with the other compels us to actually engage and grapple with a way of seeing the world which is fundamentally different from ours. And it reminds us that that this thing that I touched on a little bit, that modernity has created this magic circle into which we've stepped, where it's sort of like a spell of forgetfulness, and we've forgotten that there are more things in heaven and earth than exist in your philosophy, Horatio. Like the universe is stranger than we can possibly imagine, and what we're doing when we're making sense of it is we're narrowing it down so we can fit it inside our tiny little heads, but it's bigger than us. It's bigger than any individual. It's bigger than humans in general. And the encounter with the other gives us evidence that there are other ways of experiencing and making sense of the world other than our own, and that the world as such includes all those ways. All those ways work and coexist. And so our picture of the world needs to include an openness to those other ways. We need to constantly remind ourselves that it is stranger than we can imagine.